What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. The purpose of this video is to discuss where I think the price action is going to be coming, over the coming week, over the coming weeks, by the end of February, by the end of this next move, what I expect it to look like, and when I expect us to break out. Right? I'm aware, as I'm sure you all are, and before we actually get started, let's talk about it real quick. That Trump did not mention Bitcoin. There was no mention of Bitcoin or crypto at all on Inauguration Day. And the purpose of this video is to not discuss that, right? I'll probably mention it here or there, maybe, but the purpose of this video is really to do the TA. If you want to get my opinion on that stuff, I suppose you can watch this one, right? It's not too in-depth on that, but it does give my opinion specifically pertaining to price action, right? The reason why I'm not going to talk about the inauguration too much is because it's late in the day. You guys have probably all formed your own opinions already. You've seen it, right? You've already seen all the media outlooks. Like, I don't need to be another talking head talking about this hours after the day is already over. You know what I mean? So let's talk about price action. Let's get to work. Hit that like button and subscribe, y'all. Yesterday was a dud. The inauguration day was a dud. We didn't get a Trump pump or a dump. We kind of did, right? We pumped and we dumped yesterday, but really it was just a big old dud. We didn't do anything. Almost always, whenever you see this kind of maneuver where you get higher volume like this, exceptional volume, it's like breakout volume, and you got the move that's a breakout move too, and then you come back into it, that's almost always a bearish thing and would likely signal a type of a reversal or something. I got to be careful here, because when I say reversal, I don't mean something that would take us to lower lows. I just mean maybe more of a like temporary rejection where we find a higher low relative to this low here. So if that were to happen, and I don't suspect it does, we'll go over some of that as to why I don't suspect that does either. The shorter term time frames, I think, tell a better story. I'm just talking about the general look here with this. Normally, this kind of look would lead me to expect that we would reject this area and go lower. So being that that's normally the case, let's consider what that might look like. At the current price of about 102,000, likely you would drop to about 96 to 95,000 with a potential low at 91K. You could go as low as 84K to 78K if you take out this low. Really, if you take out 91.3K. Okay? Those are your targets. First off, no, I don't think we go here. I don't think we break this low, and I don't even think we go to the 61869. So before you even worry about these targets, you heard me say 60K, 70K, 80K, whatever, and you started freaking out. Before you even start freaking out, we have to break 95K. We have to break 95K. And likely, if we even go down there, and I don't even think we go down there, but if we go down there, we would hold that as support. That would be a higher low, something to build off of, and then we'd pump going into the month of February, going into the end of this month as well, right? But here we are. Here we are relative to this low to high here. Finding support at our relative 382 right now, okay? Low to high, so this is the high, this is the point at which it starts. Finding support at our 382, all we need do now to provide that this is a low and that we are going to take out this high, all we need to do is break above 104.227K. And on a 4-hour basis, I think that would be fine. We would need 2 4-hour candles to close. And now I say you would need 2 4-hour candles to close above the 236 to get confirmation that this is the low, and thus that we are moving to new all-time highs. And the Trump pump was just a day delayed, right? It's happening with or without the strategic reserve. And I think it will happen, right? With or without the Bitcoin strategic reserve, we're going to get Bitcoin at millions of dollars, right? As long as the dollar, that's the thing, we don't need the strategic reserve, guys, and this is where I'll talk about the inauguration a little bit, those disappointments. We'll get back to the TA in a second, right? We don't need the government, right? Cryptocurrency does not need the government to be successful. It's the new frontier of finance. It's the new technical advantage of currency itself. It literally is it's currency at its finest. It's hard money, it's sound money, it's better than the dollar. All Bitcoin needs, it doesn't need a strategic reserve, it doesn't need ETFs, it doesn't need the king's approval. All it needs is the US dollar to keep inflating, right? If the US dollar keeps inflating, all Bitcoin has to do is simple. It just has to be better than the US dollar, and then it will inevitably gain value, right? And when I say it's easy to do, it's really not hard to do, to be better than the US dollar. You guys, Dogecoin has a better inflationary policy than the US dollar does, and it's a meme coin. It's not hard, as crazy as it sounds, it's really not hard to create a better currency than the US dollar. It really is not. At least if you want like a free currency that's used for peer-to-peer and doesn't screw people over or steal from them by means of inflation and taxation, stuff like that. But what do I know? What does anybody know? All I'm trying to say, guys, is that with or without the strategic reserve, Bitcoin's destined for millions of dollars. We don't need the strategic reserve. The strategic reserve needs us. And I think whenever people, I can't say it's strategic reserve, whenever people figure that out, they'll they'll be like, oh, Bitcoin is still in a bull market. Oh, this is all fine. We can move up to 130,000 without the strategic reserve. I can't say that, man. I'm just going to say SR. Without the SR, we can move up there without the SR. Cool. And that's what's going to happen. So I do think, looking at this 4-hour time frame here, what happened is we had a little dump before the pump, right? This was some stop hunting kind of action here, right? We had any person who went long expecting us to break out of this high here, which I think that looks like a very good area to break out. As soon as we got the 4-hour to close up above here, that's when we dumped, probably triggering a lot of stop losses down here, and then also triggering a lot of people to go short down at these areas. And then, of course, as you're going short, expecting it to go down because we're breaking structure here, and you would expect to go down to areas to find support, then we pump. Then we pump, and we break out to new all-time highs on top of that, which definitely stops out any and all shorts, or most of them at least, right? You have to be somewhat nuts if you didn't have stop losses before all-time highs, right? So stopping out all shorts, and then again, just like here at the bottom, making people think it's going to go down, being bearish, right? That's decent volume. That's a nice breakout candle. You did the same thing up here now. Instead of continuing higher, you got the longs in up here. Nobody's going short up here, right? They just got stopped out, and then it goes down. So this is just a liquidity grab. This is just a stop hunt kind of volatility is what my expectation is. So even though generally this daily price action, the way it looks, would suggest we go lower, looking at the 4-hour for what it is, really we have higher lows, okay? You've got volume. You've got a lot of volume coming into the downside, and every time you get more volume coming into the downside, all you do is you're putting in higher lows. That's a good thing. That's actually a really good thing, you guys. There's a lot of liquidity, a lot of accumulation going on around here. Sorry, I just glitched out for a second there. If we're looking at the 4-hour RSI, you bounce off the 40 or about to bounce off the 45. You look at it as a whole, we kind of zoom out, and it looks like it's bullishly postured, right? You've got this higher low, higher high, like you would go up into the overbought zone, probably today, if not over the coming days, right? Over the last, I think this would be the 3rd day in a row if I were to say it. I'm not gonna say it because I don't know if it happens today, but soon we're going to be at 120K, right? Over the last 2 days, I've said that we would be at 120K by inauguration day, but it didn't happen. We didn't get the SR, right? The strategic reserve. Oh, there, I said it pretty well that time. But I do suspect that all the fear, all the uncertainty, what's going to make that go away is Bitcoin just doing what it does, which is moving up in the face of fear and uncertainty. And I think it will. I very much do think that it will. Its next target, if we look at the high to low here, would be, at least I would assume it would be, at 114 to 122K. Now, if you break above 122K, your immediate next target area to consider would be 120 to 131K. So I think that's a good area to watch out for. If we made a run right now, like an immediate run, and Bitcoin just broke out and it tore through all these levels, I would bet with a high degree of certainty we stop at about 130K. Okay. If, however, Bitcoin runs up, we stop at about 114K. We're doing more gradual kind of pullbacks along the way. We could keep going, guys. We could just, that kind of structure is healthy, and we can see some pretty consistent growth all the way up. And it probably doesn't happen just like this. You know, I mean, we could be in a channel all the way up. That can happen, but and it does happen at times. But I doubt that's what's going to happen here. I would expect that we get some kind of breakout move, a consolidation phase, and then more breaking out afterwards before consolidating. You know, going into like March or something would be my kind of expectation. But where this move takes us, likely, in my opinion, would be above 122K. We break above 122K. The next target area is 128 to 131K. That's the immediate next target area. You break above there, you've got 138K to 148K to consider. Okay. And those targets, I think, as we go further out, that'll happen deeper into February. I do suspect that we could see Bitcoin still at prices around $170,000 to $185,000 by the end of February, if not sometime in March. I think that it could happen. You guys, I'm going to end the video with this. The strategic reserve, I'm getting better at saying it, it did not get approved today, but it will get approved. It's going to happen at some point. Maybe it gets approved tomorrow. Maybe it gets approved in February. Maybe it gets approved at the very bottom of the next corrective phase that we have. I don't know. Nobody knows. Unfortunately, it didn't happen today. But again, I don't know. Does it happen today? It's still technically the 20th. It's 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. where Trump's at right now. Can he sign an executive order at an inauguration ball? I mean, he's the president. He can do whatever he wants. Can he? Like, what's the protocol for these EOs? I don't know. But All I'm going to say, I'm just going to leave the video with this, guys, is that yesterday was a dud. 20th is a dud. Let's move on, okay? It was a national holiday. The banks were closed. The stock markets were closed. So there was less liquidity, less open volume on the markets, right? Tomorrow's going to be a different story. We've got the most bullish crypto administration that's ever been for cryptocurrency in the history of cryptocurrency. It just happened today. Things are looking up. We didn't get the SR. Ross didn't get freed. Ross Ulbricht didn't get freed, right? We didn't get the commute on that either, which really sucks. That I think really sucks the most. But it will happen. Both of those things will happen. Trump, I think, is a man of his word, and I think he will follow through with it. There's just some other pressing things, and I think maybe it's more of a message to state that there are more pressing things. Maybe it is a message. It would have looked bad if he was having all the crypto bros backs, if he wants to portray this person who wants to bring about unity and prosperity for America. He wants to be an American leader first. It might make sense that he puts the crypto bros on the back burner, but he's still driving. He's still the one driving the truck, man. And it's a good truck for crypto. I don't know, man. My metaphor is falling off, but we have a very bullish administration. There's nothing to worry about. SR didn't happen. It's okay. It's going to happen inevitably. Bitcoin's going to go to millions of dollars with or without it. With it, it just happens faster. Without it, it happens inevitably still. So hit the like button, you guys. Subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.